Good evening, everybody. This is your brother, Legend Muyui. I'm back for another live stream playthrough of Mass Effect. I figured I would get this in because, well, it's a holiday. People are probably, chilling, doing something. So I would get this in. Um, Forgot where we were at last time. I think we were talking about AIs and how people's concept of them is a little bit weird. Well, I can't say weird, just a little skewed. And how some people may talk or think of AIs as something different than what it actually is. But we'll just dive right into it. This is such a beautiful game. Well, besides some of the stuff that they talk about, the ungodly stuff. But anyway, yeah, so we were right outside of the Presidium. And we talked to that lady who reminds me so much of my job. Oh, and this is an Asari who's just walking. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, and you just staring at me. That's kind of creepy. Okay. Oh, I was in your way. You wanted to talk to the Turian. Okay, that's cool. So this is a Solarian. I don't think we've talked about them. This is a... I just now said the name. Asari. This is an Asari. There are all female species. And then this cat-like looking thing that this Asari is talking to is a Turian. And so those are the three major races. There's another race that we're going to come across. But let's get it. I'm going to proceed with the quest line just so that, it won't be completely boring. So you use the Citadel Rapid Transit to quickly travel between major locations. As you explore the Citadel, more locations will become available. So I'm going to just delve into it. I'm just going to... this is a... Okay. That was a Solarian. That's a Solarian and Torian that's talking right there. And let's try to run a little bit. Oh, and a Hanar. I forgot about those, but I don't think we're going to see that one. There's an event where a Hanar is going to be here preaching. And it's just weird, so...
Look at that bug thing over there. What's it doing?
Please do not disturb the keepers.
Alright, so we're going to talk to Avina.
Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal 2. You are standing near the base of the Citadel Tower, one of the Presidium's most recognizable and important structures. Behind me is the spectacular Relay Monument, a scale model representation of a Prothean mass relay. To your left is one of the Keepers, the enigmatic caretakers of the Citadel, working on a control panel. You may see Keepers involved in various tasks throughout all levels of the Citadel. We ask that you do not interfere with them in any way. The Keepers are essential to the smooth operation of the Citadel. Obstructing their daily work will result in harsh penalties, including incarceration and rehabilitation.
So there's three things that she mentioned. Let's go with the relay monument that looks like the mass relays that we use to instantaneously get to new galaxies.
Tell me about the relay monument.
Discovered by the Asari who first arrived at the Citadel, the Relay Monument is one of the station's most interesting and controversial features. What is the meaning behind this striking piece of art? Is it a tribute to Prothean vanity? A reminder of their conquest of the galaxy through mass relay technology? Or perhaps it is a symbol of unity, a Prothean acknowledgement that the relays would eventually lead other species here to the Citadel. No one can say for sure, making the Relay Monument a favorite topic of discussion among academics and scholars.
But it's always speculation, and that's the one thing that I don't like about certain ancient texts. A lot of people speculate. There's no way that they can know, but then some people treat that speculation as if it's the truth, which is not, because there's not enough data.
Tell me about the Citadel Tower.
Housing both the council chambers and Citadel control, the tower is one of the most important buildings on the station. Access to these areas is restricted to those with the appropriate clearance.
What happens in Citadel Control?
Citadel Control handles all incoming and outbound transit. Every ship within 2,000 kilometers of the Citadel is under the jurisdiction of Citadel Control. At peak capacity, they are responsible for monitoring upwards of 1,000 vessels.
I'd like to hear more about the Council Chambers.
The business of the Council, which often has far-reaching effects on the galactic community, is conducted in a room at the apex of the Citadel Tower. The Council Chambers themselves are truly a magnificent sight to behold, though few get to experience the view in person. Typically, only the councilors, ambassadors, and high-ranking officials, along with various support staff, are allowed access.
What if someone has business with the Council?
The average citizen must go through the proper channels if they wish an audience with the Council. This is usually arranged through their respective ambassadors. Even then, few are given access to the actual Council chambers. In most cases, the ambassador acts on behalf of the citizen.
I'm scheduled to have an audience with the Council.
Only a handful of visitors to the Citadel are ever granted that privilege. I would be jealous, but that is outside the scope of my programming.
Which is kind of funny because she can mention it. But programming is like that. They probably just threw in a line in her code for her to say that. Keepers.
I'd like to know more about the Keepers.
Little is known about these peaceful servants of the Citadel, though they are essential to the operation and maintenance of the entire station. Citadel regulations protect the Keepers against interference during the performance of their tasks. Failure to comply will result in harsh penalties. Keepers can be seen in all sections of the Citadel, but are typically found in and around the tower.
Any particular reason there are so many Keepers in this area?
The Keepers do not communicate with other species. It is assumed, however, that the tower houses the Citadel's primary control systems. Many of the station's systems, such as navigation and life support, function automatically. It is believed the Keepers operate those systems from inside the tower's inaccessible core. The Keepers also make frequent appearances in the Council chamber itself, though they appear to be just passing through on their way to some other destination.
That's all for now.
Thank you for using Avina. Have a pleasant day.
So the Keepers are like bugs on the planet. They go about doing their thing and they, make sure the soil is right. They help with pollination. But they actually fix and work on this giant station and it's mechanical engineering. So it's like they don't have mechanics that work on this stuff. The Keepers actually do it, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, we do have a lot, well, probably not a lot, but we got some stuff within the codex. We just want to look at it real quick. Let's see what we got. All right, so some primary stuff. Anything secondary? No secondary stuff, so no reading for me, which is kind of good. Even though I've changed my light source, I could probably read a little bit better, but we'll see. Let's check out the non-alien council races.
The Elcor are a citadel.
The Keepers.
When the Asari discovered the Citadel, they also discovered the Keepers, a docile, multi-limbed insect race that seemingly exists only to maintain and repair the great Prothean station. Early attempts to communicate with or study the Keepers were failures, and it is now illegal to interfere with or impede Keeper activity. Because they are completely non-threatening, Keepers have become virtually invisible to everyone else. Similarly, they seem indifferent to other species, except for their tendency to help new arrivals integrate themselves into the Citadel. No matter how many Keepers die due to old age, violence, or accident, they maintain a constant number. No one has discovered the source of new Keepers, but some hypothesize they are genetic constructs. Biological androids created somewhere deep in the inaccessible core of the Citadel itself.
A lot of speculation going there, but we'll find out later on in the game series. See what technology we are unearthing.
Biotics is the... Mass relays are feats of Prothean engineering advanced far beyond the technology of any living species. They are enormous structures scattered throughout the stars and can create corridors of virtually mass-free space, allowing instantaneous transit between locations separated by years or even centuries of travel using conventional FTL drives. Primary mass relays can propel ships thousands of light years, often from one spiral arm of the galaxy to another. However, they have fixed one-to-one connections. A primary relay connects to one other primary relay and nowhere else. Secondary relays can only propel ships across a few hundred light years. However, they are omnidirectional. A secondary relay can send a ship to any other relay within its limited range. There are many dormant primary relays whose corresponding twins have not yet been located. These are left inactive until their partner is charted, as established civilizations are unwilling to blindly open a passage that might connect them to a hostile species.
I remember when I first played this game, this whole last portion I thought was actually going to be in this game. Like, we would travel to a place where a hostile species was, and and like I said, there's so much in this game that you could actually make other games for based upon the lore that's in it, and I just think it's great. All right, we're going to make our way up to the Citadel Tower, and we're going to be introduced to the elevator where the side characters talk.
The council isn't going to ask me any questions, are they?
I doubt it. We've made our reports. Now we just have to trust Ambassador Udina.
No, we don't, sir.
So she doesn't like politicians. He's a stickler for rules. I kind of like that.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council. Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the C-Sec investigation into Saren.
Who were you just talking to?
That was Executor Palin, head of Citadel Security, my boss. He'll be presenting my findings on Saren to the council.
Come across anything I should know about?
Saren's a Spectre. Most of his activities are classified. I couldn't find anything solid. But I know he's up to something. Like you humans say, I feel it in my gut.
I think the council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
So that is a classic case of politics. Someone's has a higher status in life, and so what they actually do is actually not in the public eye, and which is I actually feel for this. Like, this is something that I actually really care about. If justice is supposed to be done, no one should be held above the law. If a law is there, everyone should be judged fairly according to their law. Of course, I also think that people should take responsibility for their actions as to what caused them to lead up to said law event. But that's another side point. I do think that everyone should be held accountable and should not have their privileged status to be able to be judged based on their status, or because they have money to be able to get out of certain things. But that's the flaw in our legal system.
Don't be ridiculous. The Volus won't be joining the council for years.
I'm not so sure. The humans are making a strong push, and you can bet the Volus will be right on their coattails if they succeed.
Allowing the humans to join us is a sound strategic move. The Volus? No. The Hanna are likely to be next, then the Elcor.
You may be right. Though the Hanar need to lighten up a bit first.
You just don't like them because you have trouble understanding them.
So the little touches like that, I actually like the people who are diplomatic speaking on it. I wish they would go into a little bit more details, like have longer dialogue or speech, but I know that's probably program limitations to actually really color the game a lot, to have them speaking on various subjects going on. I would like to know, more of what people would actually get on the council. I mean, I know the top three, but and I know that we're human, so we're going to paint ourselves or make a video or a piece of art that pictures us in a favorable light, which really we're not in a favorable light. We are very evil. Our primary nature is evil. It's sinful. Anyone who tells you anything else is believing a pipe dream. That humans are good. Left to ourselves, we would probably be rapists, murderers, and all that kind of stuff on the regular if left unrestricted. That's just the nature of us. We want what we want, how we want it. We don't want anyone to tell us how to do our life, and so that's just our nature. It's just sinful. And just to prove the point, you don't have to teach your baby, your infant, how to lie. That baby will find out how to lie on its own. Commander Anderson.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard. The one who let the beacon get destroyed.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
Insults. Typical. See, he hates us. You'll pay. I don't like either one of these choices, but I know that the top choice is the most the way that this game has it is Paragon. Paragon is the more virtuous choice. Renegade is always at the bottom, and it's sometimes hyper accentuated once it's over here in this particular area, or down here in this area for Renegade. So I'm gonna go with the top one because I would want the most virtuous one, which really isn't.
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
You can't hide behind the Council forever.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
I could say you won't see the truth. That's not really virtuous. That's just condescending. To tell a person, they won't see it. I could say, what's the point? Or just no. I can understand why you would tell a person that, they won't see the truth because, they may not want to see it. But, people are free to choose to view however they choose to view things. God allows us to have our own viewpoint, even though he is sovereign. He is God. He knows what's right. He knows what's best for us. But yet he lets us choose to make a mess out of our life. He is perfectly fine with that. So I'm gonna go with the middle one because it's just the most. Out of these choices, it sounds most like me.
You've made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have said it like that, but it is what it is.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
Yasari does have some pretty features in their makeup. Looks pretty cool. Does look very alien. Blue skins, kind of weird. They still look feminine.
It
so
was a
that's
mistake
cool.
bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason. To exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
Tell me about this history between you and Sarah.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad. Real bad. We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like. And he has to be stopped.
What's our next step?
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that C-Sec investigator? We saw him arguing with the Executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in C-Sec who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
The Ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Sarah.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
Tell me about Barla Vaughn.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius. Doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes. He's got an impressive client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, specters. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game. And the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics. Doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The Ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
Okay, I can say why bother, or we're too independent. I think we're too independent. We don't, I mean, as a human race, well, no. In the United States, where I live, I think we're too independent. We don't work well together at all. Everyone here is really, really selfish. You can tell that by how people drive on the road. You can tell how people always try to get in line You know, people act like they didn't know there was a line. Oh, excuse me, was there a line? Yeah, you see like a group of people just lining up, and you just think that you can just hop in front of everybody. Everyone wants to, you know, do their best interests, not taking into consideration of other people. So yeah, I actually going to click on this, see what it says.
Maybe they'd let us join the council if we were more willing to cooperate with the other species.
Of course they would. If we did everything they told us to, they'd love to have us on the council. But it wouldn't be much of a deal for us. I understand their side. They don't want us dominating the council. It's founded on cooperation and alliances. But we have to look out for our own interests too.
Spectres.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents. The last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done, like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation, but with him gone, things are still up in the air.
All right, I'm done.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
I'm going to go to Bar Levon first. And there's one thing I did want to mention in there. At the hearing, they mentioned something about, you know, there being an eyewitness that seen him and kill him in cold blood, and that wasn't enough proof. A lot of people would think that that should be enough, but the Bible itself says that truth should be established by 2 or more witnesses. Yes, 2 people can come together and choose to lie together, but you know, God put that in his word for a reason. Yeah, maybe you may see it as a flaw being in that because, you know, people aren't honest, but it is what it is. That's what God's word says. And so I really don't have a issue with that. I mean, the fact that we saw what happened, you know, that's not actually life. You never see the situation, so you have to use deductive reasoning. You have to use judgment, and that's why there are people who have the daunting task of being judges. And also, well, I'll talk about Bar Levon and his loopholes and everything once we get over to him. Do I have enough time? I got enough time. Sure a bit.
That guy's up to something.
What guy?
The one over by the Keeper.
Alright, this is going to give me a side quest. And I don't think I want to do that yet. So, actually, I'm going to look and see what we got in our codex. Alright, so alien council races and nothing in secondary, so we're going to read what it says.
The Asari were the second species to join the Citadel. The Solarians are warm-blooded amphibians with a hyperactive metabolism. Solarians think fast, talk fast, and move fast. To Solarians, other species seem sluggish and dull-witted. Unfortunately, their metabolic speed leaves them with a relatively short lifespan. Solarians over the age of 40 are a rarity. The Solarians were responsible for advancing the development of the primitive Krogan species to use as soldiers during the Rachni Wars. They were also behind the creation of the genophage bioweapon the Turians used to quell the Krogan rebellions several centuries later. Solarians are known for their observational capability and non-linear thinking. This manifests as an aptitude for research and espionage. They are constantly experimenting and inventing, and it is generally accepted that they always know more than they are letting on.
So all of this that they have about all of these cultures and, you know, would make...
Maybe, but I wouldn't believe everything you hear.
That's just it. I'm hearing it everywhere. It's not just isolated rumors.
Do you really think Saren could be involved in something like that without the Council knowing it?
Maybe the Council does know. Everyone already assumes he's just doing their dirty work.
That's dangerous talk. I'd be careful who you mention that to.
I know. If it's true, shouldn't we be doing something about it?
No. And I'll thank you to keep me out of it if you do.
And so it's really interesting. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Well, it'll come back to me if it was important. If not, we're going to make our way over to the financial district, talk to Barlaron, and we're probably going to end it right there. But one thing this game is missing, which I know was the first of its series, is kind of like the work aspect that's like in the Skyrim series. Like in Skyrim, you can talk to people, but you can actually see them doing their job while they're talking. Alright, there's probably going to be some talking on the way down.
I can't believe the Council ignored all the evidence against Saren.
Saren's one of their best operatives. It's only natural they'd take his word for ours.
Oh, so now we just chase leads while this smart Turian runs around with his Geth troopers.
That's politics, Chief.
I hate politics.
In case anyone's wondering, as soon as I get another person, I'm swapping Ashley out. Personally, I don't like her personality. I just don't. I don't know why. Just too abrasive for me. I don't mind talking, but, you know, the bluntness of it, which is kind of weird. You know, she mentions she believes in a god. She doesn't say which one, but, you know, that's cool. All right, this is Barlaron in the financial district. I really like his character.
What's this? One of the Earth Clan. Ah, a very famous one, yes? You are the one called Shepard. The tale of how you survived the great tragedy on Akuz is truly remarkable. I am amazed each time I hear it.
You've got me at a disadvantage here.
Forgive me, Earth Clan. My name is Barlavan. My job makes it necessary for me to keep informed. I am a financial advisor to many important clients here on the Citadel. When someone as important as yourself arrives on the station, I take notice.
I've heard you work for the Shadow Broker. Do you have any information about Saren?
You're very blunt, Shepard. But you're right. I am an agent for the Shadow Broker. And I do know something about Saren.
I hear your information can be expensive.
Normally, this information would cost a small fortune. But these are exceptional circumstances. So I am going to give it to you for free.
What's the catch?
There is no catch. The Shadow Broker is quite upset with Saren right now. They used to do a lot of business until Saren turned on him.
That's what happens when you deal with a traitor like Saren.
No matter what you think of Saren, he's not stupid. He knows the Shadow Broker is a valuable ally. Turning on him doesn't make sense. Not unless something huge was at stake. I don't know the details, but the Shadow Broker hired a freelancer to deal with it. A Krogan mercenary.
How do I find him?
I heard he was paying Citadel security a visit. If you hurry, you can probably catch him before he leaves the C-Sec Academy.
Isn't it strange that a Krogan would want to speak with C-Sec?
Very. However, I doubt the visit was entirely his choice. You'll need to speak with him if you want to know more.
Tell me more about your job.
Galactic finance is incredibly complex. A mix of laws and regulations from dozens of interstellar economies. I'm an expert in how all these economies interact. For a fee, I share my expertise. I also offer premium services for those clients who need someone to conduct business without drawing unwanted attention. Discreet and efficient. That's my motto.
Sounds pretty shady.
Everything I do falls completely within the bounds of interstellar commerce law. Even so, many of my clients would prefer their transactions remain undisclosed. For example, suppose a Hanar ambassador was petitioning the Council to reduce tariffs on Hanar goods. How would it look if he had money invested in a Hanar exporting company? Even if his true motives were to help his people, he would be accused of advancing the petition for his own personal gain. I can keep his personal finances private.
I wouldn't say I don't buy it, you know. My thing is you choose to do what you want with your money, but if you're actually helping other people and it's actually helping you as well, well, you are supposed to be part of the people that you're helping. I don't understand it. I don't understand some people's view on politics is just stupid. You know, like people should not be trying to benefit from something. It's like having a cow who is plowing for you, but every time the cow goes to eat from, you know, what he's gleaning from, you're chastising the actual cow. No, the cow is working for you. He should reap some of the benefits for being able to work on your behalf, so that you, as a person who is benefiting from it, I should be able to reap benefits as well. So I don't really understand that. So I'm not going to go with that. I don't buy it because I do understand what he's talking about. Let's talk about Shadow Broker.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
Most people think I deal in finances, but my real currency is knowledge. I trade information, and it has made me very wealthy. But the Shadow Broker is the true master. Every day he buys and sells secrets that could topple governments, always giving them to the highest bidder. Yet somehow he never seems to upset the natural balance of power. All those secrets being passed around seem to even out. Nobody ends up with an advantage in the end.
Any guess what his identity might be?
I don't know. Nobody does. The Shadow Broker could be any race, any gender. I have a theory that it's actually an entire group working under one identity. How else could they juggle so many contacts at the same time? How else could they keep all that information from getting crossed? But they've got the perfect setup. Every government is forced to play their game so they don't get behind. But no matter how long you play, no matter how many secrets you buy, you can never win.
I thought you'd know more about the man you work for.
From time to time, I come across information I sell to the Shadow Broker. That's my only involvement. I like it that way. The more you know, the more dangerous the game becomes. I don't like danger, Commander. I'll leave that to you.
What's it like living here on the Citadel?
The station is without a doubt the greatest wonder in the galaxy. It is a technological marvel, but its true splendor goes much deeper than the hull and engines. From the Presidium to the wards, the entire station is a testament to the success of the Council. All the species of Citadel spaced together in a single, strong community.
What are the wards like?
The cultural heart of the galaxy. They pulse with the lifeblood of millions of citizens from dozens of different species. You never know what you'll find out in the wards, Commander. It's always full of surprises. Fortunately, most of them are pleasant.
What makes the Presidium so special?
It is the political center of Citadel space. 80% of all intelligent species in the known galaxy acknowledge the Council's authority on interstellar matters. But only the most powerful and influential species have embassies here on the Presidium. This level of the station is reserved for the elite, Shepard. People like us.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Okay, so by all of the... No, come back here. All the experience that I'm getting from talking to people and doing the petty back and forth stuff, I've leveled up. I want to just look at the last codex stuff, and then I'm going to call it quits, because now we're approaching an hour, and I really only want to do a half hour. So, secondary stuff. Citadel and Galactic Government. So, the Citadel wards. The majority of the Citadel's population lives in the wards, the 5 massive arms of the station that house the residential and commercial districts. Many galactic races have established culture enclaves here. Population density and cost of living are extremely high, akin to Earth cities such as Hong Kong and Singapore. The wards are open-topped, with skyscrapers rising from the superstructure. The towers are sealed against vacuum, as the breathable atmosphere envelopes it is only maintained to a height of about 7 meters. Huh? 7 meters isn't that high for sealing an atmosphere. Okay. The atmosphere is contained by the centrifuge force of rotation and a membrane of dense, colorless sulfur hexafluoride gas held in place by carefully managed mass effect fields. The view from the wards is spectacular. In the background, stars, Serpent Nebula, and the nearby blue giant called the Widow move across the sky as the station rotates to stabilize itself. In the foreground, the lights of buildings and vehicles on the opposing ward's arms perpetually shine. The Citadel has no real day or night, while the station keeps the standard galactic time for political functions. Business rarely closes, and residents acclimate to sleep and work according to personal need rather than day and night cycles. Additions and modifications are constantly being constructed, though they must stay within certain specifications that will not compromise the operation of the station. Occasionally, the keepers will descend on an area of the wards and move or change the architecture without explanation. Residents have learned to live with these inexplicable intrusions. Okay. And then technology. Creds. The standard credit was established by the Citadel's Unified Banking Act as the currency of interstellar trade. The credit has a managed floating exchange rate calculated in real time by the central bank to maintain the average value of of all participating currencies. Some regional currencies are worth more than a credit and some less. Hard currencies can be stolen or counterfeited, so electronic fund transfers are the norm. More importantly, physical transactions cannot be easily tracked, making them ideal for tax evasion or the purchase of illegal goods. When the Alliance joined the Citadel, its various national treasuries were linked into the credit network. A human with a bank account of Mexican pesos, Japanese yen, or Indian rupees. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that was a actual thing. I thought that was only in The Legend of Zelda. Can purchase any item priced in credits at fair market value. All economies that participate in the credit network are required to price items in both local currency and credits. Oh, that's cool. Anything in the new? Yep, non-council races.
The Elcor,
Krogan.
the Krogan, evolved in a hostile and vicious environment. Until the invention of gunpowder weapons, eaten by predators was still the #1 cause of Krogan fatalities. Afterwards, it was death by gunshot. When the Solarians discovered them, the Krogan were a brutal, primitive species, struggling to survive a self-inflicted nuclear winter. The Solarians culturally uplifted them, teaching them to use and build modern technology, so they could serve as soldiers in the Rachni War. Liberated from the harsh conditions of their homeworld, the quick-breeding Krogan experienced an unprecedented population explosion. They began to colonize nearby worlds. Even though these worlds were already inhabited, the Krogan rebellions lasted nearly a century, only ending when the Turians unleashed the Genophage, a Solarian-developed bioweapon that crushed all Krogan resistance. The Genophage makes only 1 in 1,000 pregnancies viable, and today the Krogan are a slowly dying breed. Understandably, the Krogan harbor a grudge against all other species, especially the Turians.
Okay. I mean, a lot can be said there, but I'm going to leave that for the next episode, so you know what it is. If this is your last piece of entertainment, which I do hope it is, I hope that you'll spend time doing something for yourself that would benefit yourself and make you better, whether it's reading a book to learn a new knowledge, to do something that you always wanted to do, or to do something that would put a little extra financial flow your way. Everyone can have a little entrepreneur in them. I always promote that, you know. You may not be that worker bee that's dedicated just for working. You may have something in you that God wants to utilize to bring something better to this world. Or if not, you could just learn something that could be peaceful and calming to you, learning how to play a piano, flute, some type of instrument or whatever it may be, learning martial arts, Tai Chi, some type of gymnastics or whatever it may be. Find time for yourself, and so that things can be more better for you. But anyway, if this is the last piece of entertainment, I hope that you'll take time to do something that'll benefit you. Be blessed, and this is your boy, Legend Muyui, out.